Good morning, welcome to my channel. I just thought I would show you quickly a couple of pages. As you know, we're going to be working on collages. So just on that page, and that, and there should be another there. And also, I made these up. These were inspired by Rachel Thomason. They're quick, easy, simple to make. They're like a raggedy type of ephemera. These is where I know how to make them is any book page, music paper, back it onto cardstock. You don't have to do that if you're doing it as a journal page. I'll just use the paper and that's it. So basically, as just layering, lots of layers. I don't normally use glue. The simple reason is I sew, but in case you're not sewing, I'm thinking I like different elements to mine, so I'm going to add that. Like I said, if you're sewing, don't use glues. Since I aim to sew, I'm only going to just use a tab of glue because I really like the sewing effect, what it gives. Now I should have inked that and I haven't, but it doesn't really matter. Any frayed fabric is good. I fray a lot, so if you can fray, it'd be good. And if you really want to grunge your fabric, just get your ink and grunge it. You don't have to do this. It's up to you. I seen Rachel do it and I thought it was a really good idea, and it just gives you that really good grungy look. Just make sure that's in frame. Because I want to see that, and I like the fray bits, so I leave them hanging. I use a bit of silk across mine. And just keep layering. Layer to your heart's content, really. Because this is what it's about. It's like layering. It's like collaging. I might use this fabric here because I have utilised it in my in my cards and collages. Just a bit of vellum. So these can be used as journaling cards. Anyway, you can use them any way you want. I might use that for there, and I might bring my vellum down a little bit just to break that up a little. Like I said, if you aim to be sewing, just use a glue stick. If you're not, I would stick to Fabri-Tac. I find Fabri-Tac really good for most things, you know, like I don't know. I just find vellum very useful. Get your scrubby fabrics and just pinch them out and make them all frayy. They look good. I just lay that to the top. So this is just layers upon layers. It's like as if you were collaging, which it's what it really is. Whoops. I'm going to use this scrap. Scraps are really great. Like, they're great for collaging and whatnot. So I tend to use them. And I'm just going to use them on the sort of center of that. I did have some other stuff. I like these. I like framing my print. So because I like to frame my print, I'm going to put a bit of this down as well. I love this lace. And just so I can frame it. Since that's what I'm doing. Where's the... I might utilise that one. So it's basically any scraps you got. And ink. Like, I didn't ink as much as I should have, and that should have been inked more. Because you want to age your fabrics. You want to age things. It just looks that much better. So I suppose this is what you call a scrappy tag. And then just pick a nice print. And then what I would be doing is you can sew that way or sew that way. I love the fact that you can see all the scraggly bits and pieces, but then sew around that, and that will give you your scraggly tag. And like I said, you produce stuff like this. This is using a jar from medieval Mirages techniques. I mean, excuse me, prints. And I absolutely love her prints. And you can just see then the layers of fabrics and bits and pieces you've got. Nothing has to be the same. But they're light, so they're not super heavy. I don't know how many I made. It didn't take long to make them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when you do your pockets, remember how I told you to make the slip? So if I wanted to fit one of these tags in there, which I won't be because it's not for this journal, it will fit in that nicely because you've got that sleeve inserted. And as you can see, I've just added bits of lace, bits of fabric. Same with this one. I just added the paper and added it to my journal. It's all scraggly. So instead of collaging a page, we've actually collaged with fabrics and bits of paper and material and laces. So it's bits of everything. And there's the other pocket. And again, like, you're going to find so much room because of the sleeve that I add in my pockets. So you need to have the sleeve on both sides. No, you don't. Sorry, you only need it on that side because that is a journal page turned over. Hang on a minute. The sleeves in that, yeah. Just making sure. Oh, I shouldn't have been adding that one. That's why it's pulling. We add this one. It's pulling because it's not been sewn down. But it fits nicely because of your sleeve. But they are too long for this journal. Now, in the other videos, you'll be learning all these sort of techniques. I'm trying to get things done, little tucks and how you can collage over them, and an envelope tucky. Yeah, under tuck. So you'll be learning all different techniques with our new collaging techniques. This book's getting there. It's just slow and steady wins the race. The next video will be more along the lines of collaging with paper. I have started some, but I don't know where I've done with them. Oh, yeah. And just basically layering, and then just learning basically techniques of how to, well, for me, it's basically going to be learning techniques of what to put on these, and that will be our next video. But collaging is really easy. I actually used book pages, prints, and then it's basically, and rubbing, lining. This is not the pen I normally use either, so that makes it hard. So if you can get something like this up and running, then we can teach you how to collage it. Where's my, oh, there it is. I prefer this one. Then we can teach you what to do next. Oops. Just don't do what I just did. Collaging's not for everybody, but it's fun if you want to have it play. So that's basically, I cornered all mine. I just feel like we can learn so much. So you can see where it's overlapped into. I've used obviously something else there. And then I've used something else there. So I just wrap. So these will be journaling cards. And I just thought if I start you off, you can get these ready for crafts along, and we can play and start another journey in collaging. I actually used Mod Podge to line these. Homemade Mod Podge. If you look at Julie Ann's video on how to make gesso, Mod Podge, mixed molding paste, you'll be able to do these. Well, that's all I use, the homemade Mod Podge. Oops. As you can see, it just rubs away and it just leaves. I'm going to stain all those with Distress ink. You can use shoe polish, as you know, as a distress. Now, let me see. No. So these are just simple journaling cards, and then we're going to decorate them. And you just use whatever you've got to collage with, music paper, book pages. And then I just rub into it. So then when we next come back on here, see how it distresses it? That'll need a bit of trimming. So there's lots of techniques that we aim to teach you that are simple. I'll trim that shortly. You have your favourite one and you just go for it. And that's what I do anyway. So basically, yeah, I just collaged. I didn't bother inking. I could have inked every piece of paper, but I thought, no, we'll do it this way because it's much quicker. As you can see, the pen will help distress. Just basically, you just made your own, got your own ephemera ready for your next craft along. And it rubs really easy, so, and this is, I think a pet pen, is it? It's a Gazaz one. But you can use any pet pen to collage with, and then you just rub it. And it rubs up really good, as you can see. I'll do a couple more. Like I said, these make great journaling cards. That's why I find it easy to do quite a few of these than actually making journaling cards. So I find collaging is a lot better for me. See how it rubs in? Okay, now to ink them. They ink up beautifully without too much drama. And normally when I ink well. So for next craft along with me, we'll be collaging these cards. And normally I also collage distress the back. I just think it looks better. And then we can figure out what to do with these. I can't find my makeup sponge, which I find is a lot better to collage with. I mean, oh God, the brain don't want to work. So it didn't take me long to do. I did heaps of these. It didn't take me long to do them. But like I said, this is our next. But if you get yours ready, then we'll be able to. This is not the one. And I normally just follow where the collage is and just rub. Like I said, they rub pretty good, so. Oops. Doesn't matter if you're messy because you are going to muck around with these. There. So there's a few journaling cards ready to go for our next craft along. But they look really good when you've distressed them. And I try and use a dark distress ink. I think this one's burnt. What is it? It is grounded coffee espresso. But they do look good. So that's what I go for. I go for the dark look because then I can actually put layers and use your rounder punch. I didn't round that properly, but it is now. But yeah, I do the back as well. And it just doesn't take long. That's why I thought if I show you what I did, I've just laid any paper. I made the mixture from Julianne's, gesso, Mod Podge. And it's quite good. Because you save dollars. And that's what we're about here. Saving dollars so that we can craft to our heart's content without costing us a fortune. I'm going to tear that away. But you can basically make any sizes, with any bits of paper. So this could be a little tuck. So there's the few that we've got ready for our next tutorial so that you can craft along with me. I'm not going to sew these. The purpose of these is to do quick journaling cards, collaging. Cheap and easy to make. Using leftover prints, using cardstock. I like backing mine to file folders. I tea dye them and then I just back them to that. So I hope this has helped, and I hope you liked this short tutorial based on Rachel Tomlinson. They're like Nick the Booksmac's Raggities, really, which is how I would make them. But I like the fact, because I'm collaging a lot lately, that I can utilise this with my book pages. They're quite sturdy. They make great journaling cards. I love her. She's turned out really nice. So they're just fun. Fun, easy, simple to make using all your bits and pieces, your leftovers, your scraps. I love her. She's gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed that small tutorial. Hope you prepare some journaling cards. Like, I go by 3 by 5, depending, 3 by 7. Depends how big my journals are going to be. So that's what I base my journaling cards on. As you know, the collaging, this is not finished, but again, utilising our leftovers and collaging. You would have seen a tutorial by the time this all goes up in how I collage a cover. And that's the cover I collaged. So hopefully you'll get to see that. Now, normally also when I do collaging of any sort, I do gesso my pages. As you can see, I started there but haven't done much more than that. So normally I gesso each page. So hopefully, and this is not complete either. This is just prepped, ready to do a bit more work, and I'll show you that in later video. So thanks for watching and see you next time.